Hey guys, it's Emma, and today I wanted to share with you my kind of full-length, real-time brow routine. Not because I think I have the most amazing brows and the most amazing technique, but I just want to show you what I do. A, so you can see it. B, so maybe you can give me some tips on how to make my brows better, because they really are, they're the one thing that if I had to choose one makeup thing to do on my face, it would be brows. And also, you know, I can insert this into longer get ready with me's and tutorials so that I don't have to spend as much time on that aspect. That makes sense. Anyway, so yes, this is my brow routine, and as far as kind of grooming my brows goes, I usually tweeze my brows. Now, as I was finishing the actual grooming process this morning, I was like, oh, this would have been a good thing to put in the video, but I'll just mention what I do. I will usually tweeze any, you know, kind of stray hairs around here, and because I'm a pansy, I use this. Now, I bought this when I think I was just starting to go into cruelty-free makeup, so I wasn't really paying attention to everything yet. I would like to find a cruelty-free version of this, though, because now I'm kind of addicted. This is the Band-Aid Hurt-Free Antiseptic Wash, and I find this to be very helpful when tweezing my brows. Not only does it help to kind of dull any stinging that happens when I'm actually tweezing, but I also find it nice and cooling and refreshing to put onto my brow after I've tweezed. So if you have any suggestions for something like this, what is this? It's a lidocaine solution, so if you have any, you know, cruelty-free versions of those, if you know of any, let me know. Before I actually start filling in my brows, I will usually give them a little brush. So I'm just going to use the spoolie end of my brow pencil, and I will brush the hairs up first, and you see the kind of line at the top of the brow. If any hairs are a lot longer than that, I'll just use these little pair of scissors to trim them off. This is what I was finishing up, and I was like, oh, I should have filmed this, but I will do that. And if there's a lot of, my brows tend to get very thick and long at this kind of center part, I'll then brush the hairs down and just do a little snip snip, and then brush them back into place before filling them in. So the first actual application step, I've mentioned this in a few videos recently, I will start off with an eyeshadow primer. This is the Photo Focus primer from Wet n Wild, and I find not only does this help to make the product last longer on my brows, especially on those places where I don't, you can see the tail end of my brow is very sparse, more sparse on this one, but it's very sparse, so there's not a lot of hair for the product to grab onto. So I find the primer both makes the product last better, especially on those places, and excuse me, it also creates kind of a stiffer surface. So even though I tend to use kind of stiffer pencils for my brows, it helps to just create that more kind of hair-like look. So I have been using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Taupe. It's very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I think I mentioned in another video that they last the same amount of time, and so it doesn't make sense for me to buy a product that's twice as expensive, even though it is a little bit nicer. Anyway, this one's fine. So I usually start just kind of drawing in the same direction as the hairs grow. Start at the front end of my brow. Just kind of almost flicking the pencil. And then I'll brush through with the spoolie. And then I turn my head a little bit so I can see the angle of my brow a little easier. Try to connect from the bottom line first. And then fill in the top. Now, at first, I stick pretty close to where the hair naturally grows. Fill that in first, and then I might go back in and beef it up a little bit. So now I'm just evening out the top end. Again, just brushing through every so often. And so you can see here's where I don't really have any hair. So I'll just go in. And step back. And there we go. There's one brow done. Same on this other side. Again, just kind of going into the front end, brushing up, almost in. My goal is to make my brows look natural. I never could quite perfect that Instagram brow, so I don't try. I also, as you might be noticing, don't try to make them the same. As long as they look like they both belong on the same face, that's all I'm gonna ask for. Now this brow is a little sparser, so I'll usually draw in a little line at the bottom. And then again, just kind of flicking that product on. We're working in flicking motions. Brushing through every now and again to make sure everything's even, and that helps to blend it out a little bit as well. And again, turning to the side, there's really not a lot of hair. There's like a hair here and a couple here. And I actually find that the hair down here, I will usually tweeze this, and I haven't. It almost, I don't know, it does this weird curvy thing. So I usually go, I'll use that as a guide to go slightly above, so my brow doesn't curve down as much. I just prefer it that way. So I'll draw kind of that initial line, and then find the top of the arch. Start working my way kind of around and down. Final step, I'll go through with a little clear brow gel. This is one I'm trying to use up. It's a sample of the Ulta brow gel. I'm not a huge fan of this, honestly. I'm just, you know, using it up to use it up. Part of my project pan, which I will be filming an update for that shortly. I'm just brushing the hair up. And this will just add a little extra texture. At least at first. I find it doesn't last very long, so that is it. That is my everyday brow routine. I hope this was interesting, maybe helpful. I don't know. Let me know what your brow routine, what are your favorite brow products? Do you have any recommendations? I have a list, but if you'd like to add anything to that list, please let me know. And if you have any suggestions, any tips, any tricks, any recommendations for, you know, eyebrows in general, or for me specifically, let me know in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.